Hey everybody, this is the in-depth drum tutorial for What a Beautiful Name from Hillsong actually, but we've done a bit of a Worship Solutions adaptation to simplify the drum parts. We're doing this song at 136 BPM. That basically gives us the click set on eighth notes. Really, the tempo is 68 BPM. So what we're gonna do, the whole song is based off a 4 on the floor kick pattern up until the last chorus. Everything's this. And that's your first verse where you come in, which is the second verse of the song. And then I'll teach you the tom pattern once the chorus comes in. It's really simple, but it's a long phrase. It's basically a phrase that lasts the whole phrase of the chorus. So here's the pattern. So did you catch that? Right hand is always hitting pretty hard, and left hand's always a ghost. Right? That's the pattern. It's a 4-bar phrase, and it's really intentional. I'm always trying to create, as a drummer, always good to punctuate the lyric. What a powerful name it is, right? You're responding to that power. We're gonna crash out into the instrumental. We'll bring in a cymbal swell, which just creates some high-end excitement that's subtle, and then we'll run the ride cymbal. And the ride, I just want to be always really conscious about accents. Accents are like the nuance that make you feel like you have a great pocket. So after I do a cymbal swell, I'm going to be riding the ride, but I'm not going to be like flat sticking everything at the same velocity. It's going to have an accent to it, mostly on downbeats with a ghost hit in between. So it'd be like this. That side-to-side swipe kind of helps with it a little bit. I think it's always good to not hard stick your cymbal, but to kind of side swipe it a little bit, and that allows for, just you don't crack as many cymbals, you don't break as many sticks. It's just playing with control, and it sounds really good in microphones, which is helpful. Most of us are playing in rooms where there's at least one mic on the kit, and largely the cymbals can be the loudest piece of the whole kit. So just be real conscious when you're crashing, not to just reef your crash, but instead you can side swipe your crash cymbal, something that's more gentle, or graze it. So your first stage of the build is 4 on the floor with your kick and eighth notes on your toms. You're gonna just really start soft on the toms, and then you're gonna elevate them slowly but surely, bringing them up in dynamic for 2 sections of the bridge. Bridge is 4 sections. 2 sections of the bridge before you go and elevate it with a cymbal and snare pop. So the first part of the build is like this. Now to get louder. Notice, like, as I'm doing my toms, I'm bringing them up in volume, and I'm just like kind of riding this crescendo, right? And then I use the snare and cymbal to kind of like wake up everybody. 3rd section of the bridge. Vocalist is going up. We got to be all in. That's kind of what you're saying as a drummer. You're leading the charge by throwing out some high end in the kit, so it's not just all low end movement, but you're going to keep your hand on your floor tom. You're going to keep 4 on the floor on the kick, and you're going to move your hand from your rack tom to your snare drums. Here we go. Stage 4 is going to come in, and it's going to basically pop a cymbal and snare again to tell everybody stage 4 is here, and you're going to change your kick drum. Instead of being 4 on the floor, it's going to be 8 on the floor, meaning it's going to be going exactly with your hands the whole time. So. Now remember, this is all about build, and it's about staging your builds. So you always have to leave enough margin that you can be escalating the dynamic of the song. So you never want to be at full capacity ever in the song until you absolutely have to be. And that takes a lot of control and a lot of practice, and honestly, just being focused when you're playing. Just being focused, like, how much room do I got? Where's my margin? How much more before I'm at max capacity for the room I'm in? It's not just about max capacity for you as a drummer, it's about maximum capacity for the room. How much can the room take? So I'm gonna do the entire build, and I'll just count out whether it's stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. I'll just yell 1, 4, right? Okay, here we go. 1. Shortened those sections out. I've shortened the sections so that they're not quite as extended. Now, you get that, and you have mastered what we call the build, the brick build. And they're used in so many different worship songs. Just, it doesn't have to be those exact stages. It doesn't have to be that, those exact parts, but man, the thesis behind that is really, really solid. If you can dissect the thesis and incorporate it into your own style, you'll do really, really well. Finally, the last part of the song is the last chorus. It's a really simple drum groove. Tried to make it as basic as possible, but there are some nuances that I threw in to accentuate and punctuate the vocal. Just like the first chorus that you played on, which is the second chorus of the song, that was all accentuated on floor tom. Now this is all about just creating a released groove, one that's got a basic backbeat, one that can just support the vocal, and then you're gonna put some exclamation points using cymbals. Now, for this recording and in most church services, I would try to widen out the array of high end in the kit by not just having 1 cymbal or 2 cymbals, but actually 3. 2 crashes in a ride gives you a lot of dynamic energy. If you don't have a second crash cymbal, you can just use your hats, which is really cool. You can just open up your hats and hit your hats, and that will create a very, very similar feeling. Although I do, in this particular situation, advise you to use crashes. So here it is, from stage 4 build into the groove. That right there is the whole phrase. It's that long. So I'll play it for you again. Here's part 1, is the groove. Real basic groove. And it's funny because that's probably maybe the first groove I learned as a kid on drums. So it's really, really attainable. But you're gonna throw some nuance in there that makes it feel so pro, even though it's just a basic groove. You're gonna hit this cymbal. Just going back and forth with where that falls with the vocal. Here's the 4th phrase. So you've got phrase 1 and 2 is just the groove. Then you're gonna do the cymbal punches, and then there's this fill that goes like this. Real basic. Some of you guys probably already have this, but just for one more time, I'll break it down real slow. It's just that basic, that's it. But it feels so good all put together. I'll show you how it works. that's the pattern. And it just locks with that vocal so good. If you think about that vocal when you're playing drums, even try to sing along. Like sometimes I talk to other drummers and just say, hey man, try to sing along with the vocal if you can. Try to sing, what a powerful name it is, while you're playing. Sing with the vocalist. And a lot of times what that will do is, number one, singing drummers, man, that is rad. Number two, if you can play the groove and sing the song, chances are it's not going to conflict with the vocal. It will, any time where your hands and feet pull away from your voice or your voice falls off, a lot of times what that's from is it's just too busy. And you just maybe shouldn't play that particular part at that particular place because it might conflict with the vocal a little bit. There's a play along video where we put all these sections together, but again, just want to emphasize that the main thesis of this is dynamics. This song is all about watching your worship leader, all about knowing when parts are going to extend, how to stage that build, always leaving margin. And then when it does open up at the end, keeping that pattern really simple, it makes the rest of the song make sense. And the song will be very supported. And that's ultimately what we're here for. We're here because we serve the Lord by serving the people, by serving the song. And that's what we do. We serve them the best version of the song that we know how to do and play, and hopefully they're able to connect and to the heart of God through singing these songs, and that's why we're here. The drummers are like the linchpin of it all. Just we can make or break it, and I want you to be thinking about that as you play the song. Think about how to support the vocal, and just watch what happens in your local congregation when you do. Take care.